All right, now we know what minerals are. We figured out what they are. How do they form? How do they get here? So minerals, they're formed up of crystals, right? The shape that they are in is crystals. And each crystal is able to grow on itself, right? So crystals start really, really small, and they kind of act like a seed where more and more elements are able to bond onto that crystal with that ordered internal structure that we talked about, with that known chemical composition that we talked about. And as those ions, those elements bond on, those crystals get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So crystals start out small with a single seed, a single nucleus, and then they grow out bigger and bigger and bigger until they run into each other. And that is what creates that crystalline structure that we're used to, and that beautiful crystalline structure. So there are several ways that crystals can form and grow. And we're going to break up these three ways into igneous, sedimentary, and metamorphic. First, let's talk about igneous. So igneous, that just means, the word igneous, it just means having to do with molten rock or magma or lava. Right? Think magma, lava, hot, molten. And inside this magma, which is inside the earth, or lava, which is outside of the earth, they're the exact same thing. Magma and lava are the exact same thing, except for magma is inside the earth and lava is outside the earth. But regardless, inside that hot, molten material, as that material starts to cool down and goes from a liquid to a solid, tiny little crystals start to form inside. And as that liquid magma or liquid lava gets cooler and cooler and cooler, those crystals get bigger and bigger and bigger until the solid crystals completely overtake the liquid, and that material just becomes one solid chunk full of crystals. So that's how molten lava solidifies into a rock made up of lots of little crystals, lots of little minerals. This can also happen with hydrothermal fluids. So hydrothermal fluids, these are fluids that are moving around within Earth, often within Earth's crust, and they're really, really, really hot, right? Think like if you've ever been to like a natural hot spring or something like that, right? That's a hydrothermal fluid. And as those really hot fluids move through Earth's crust, they can pick up elements along their way, and then those elements can precipitate out as solids, as crystals, and grow within the cracks that those fluids flow through. So here's an example of a vein of gold. And that vein used to be a crack where fluid was flowing through. And over time, crystals of gold formed solids and grew bigger and bigger and bigger until they totally filled that crack. So that's how minerals can form through igneous processes.